Hey guys, so I wanted to show how I make vegetarian tacos. I have two children that are not able to eat meat, so I do incorporate vegetarian meals with my meal planning and decided to just show this as well. I also wanted to add that these tacos were made with a product called TVP. It's a meat alternative. So, we are having vegetarian tacos today. I'm just kind of sauteing the onions and I'm not using any grease, so I'm just kind of water sauteing them when it gets a little too dry in here. Little, ooh, it's fogging up. So I just add a little bit of water. I'm sorry for it fogging up, y'all. Ooh, I couldn't see and I ended up adding way too much water, but that's all right. So yeah, I'm just basically water sauteing this onions. Then I'm going to add my TVP flakes. I've already soaked them. And then I'm going to add my seasoning. The seasonings that I use is cumin, leaf thyme, and taco seasoning. Okay, y'all, so here's a better view of what I'm doing. So I am sauteing the onions, and I'm not using any oil or anything. I'm using my Instant Pot, and what I did was I added a little bit of water. So I am going to add the TVP flakes, and then I'm going to add my seasoning. The onions have browned to the way that I want them to be. So while the onions were sauteing and cooking down, I cut up some romaine lettuce. I sliced it kind of thin to go over our tacos, and I rinsed it and whatnot, and I have it in a strainer bowl draining. Now we'll add our leaf thyme. I do not measure, I go by sight. I've been cooking for a very long time, so I don't measure nothing. I mean, some things I do measure, but depending on what it is. And then we will add the cumin. Yep. And I add lots of cumin. And we will add the taco seasoning. So now this is what it looks like. And it looks just like ground beef. And you season it the same way you would with the ground beef. It's fogging up my camera, but y'all get the gist of it, right? So here's the lettuce that I had cut up and rinsed off real good, and then I drained it. And here's the cheese. So what I did was I mixed mozzarella and cheddar cheese together. I know mozzarella doesn't particularly go on tacos, but that's all right. You know, we don't always have to do things the traditional way, right? And then I have the, what is this? Salsa. I do not have sour cream. I forget to buy sour cream. Like, really, how do you forget? Of course I would forget. And normally I would chop up some onions, but guys, to be honest, I'm the only one that really even puts onions on anything. Nobody else does, so I just didn't feel like going through the heat haul. So yep. And so now they are done, and this is what they look like. So they turned out very, very nice. Hey guys, so I just thought I'd film while I was making dinner today. So today for dinner we are having what is called arroz con gandules, and basically it's rice with pigeon peas, with green pigeon peas actually, but there's some other ones you could use too. And I really like this. I'm gonna cook it in my Instant Pot. It's not the traditional way of making it, but hey, I got 12 kids, y'all, and I like to get in and out the kitchen quick. So I'm gonna just record each step that I add. And then this right here is the green olives and the pimentos, peppers. And I can't remember if this has capers in it or not. And this is made by Goya. Trying to add that awesome. Well, I'll add it after a while. So yeah, the olives I use are these Goya, and I am gonna add some sofrito, and this is the sofrito. I do not know how to make the sofrito by heart. I do plan on making some from scratch one day, but for now I'm going to use the Goya brand. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to add my water. I'm not going to add any salt, just on the strength that the olives have a lot of salt in them. Plus the sofrito has some salt in it, and I try to keep my salt consumption as low as possible. And also I am gonna add the gandules. I'm using the Goya brand gandules. So yeah. And so I do not measure. And guys, I know most of the time you only use a little bit, but I like using a lot. So I like it heavily seasoned with this sofrito. And yep, I love the way that tastes. And that is the green pigeon peas, or the gandules verdes. And all I'm gonna do is add the water, you know, for the rice, give it a nice little stir, and then I'll put it on the rice button. If it'll focus, yep, press the rice button on my Instant Pot, and voila, it'll be done in a few minutes. So right now I'm just making my kids a snack. What I did was I bought 3 different kinds of grapes, and these are seedless. And then I picked them off of the vine or stem. And so now I'm gonna rinse them off. And then that way, when they're ready for a snack, they can come in and get them a few. Maybe like a cup or 2 cups, depending on how much they want. I just figure it's easier to do it like that. That way it's ready for them to eat, and they don't have to go through the hee-haw of picking them off of the stem or anything. I don't know. I just like to make things a bit easier. And then I'm gonna just transfer them to this plastic container. And that way they could just grab them some for a little snack. Me too, as well. So there it is, and I'm gonna set this on either the table or the counter, and then they can just grab some when they want. So right now I am meal prepping. I'm making a big batch of ground beef, and so I cut up my onions and I'm chopping up mushrooms to go in it, and then I'm gonna chop up these peppers as well. Some of the peppers are beginning to go bad, so I'm gonna just kind of sift through them, see what can be used and throw out what can't be used. Then I'll cook it with ground beef, and half of it we're gonna use for spaghetti tonight, and then the other half we'll just freeze it for another meal. So we have cut back on meat, but we do still eat meat sometimes, and tonight is one of those times. So I just thought I'd come on and just show a little bit of meal prepping and what I'm doing. So I am just sifting through this bag of peppers, seeing what can be used and what can't. Some of these, the spots need to be cut off of them, and some of them just can't be used at all. So yep, that's that. Okay, so I'm done chopping up the vegetables that I'm gonna put in this. So I have onions, I have mushrooms, I have mini bell peppers. They were beginning to go bad, so I figured hurry up, cut the peppers and put it in with the ground beef. So I'm gonna add the ground beef to it, and then we're gonna use half of it, and then the other half will go in the freezer because we don't eat a lot of meat anymore. So since we're not using a lot of meat, we are gonna make sure that we have lots of good vegetables with it.